Today, we're honoring 5 famous actors we've already lost in 2026. Stick around until the end, because our number 1 pick is a loss that the world is still struggling to process. A true icon whose final project hasn't even hit screens yet. Let's pay tribute to the legends who left us too soon.
Used to be a guy who was experiencing the world, and now I feel like the world and the universe experiencing a God.
2 Golden Globes, $300 million. The first actor in history to earn $20 million for a single film. A face the whole world knew. A boy who lived in a tent. A teenager who mopped factory floors at 16 to feed his family. A man who took antidepressants for years while the entire world paid money to watch him smile. A man who carried a coffin to Ireland for a woman he loved, then flew home and got sued for her death. You think you know Jim Carrey, but the version most people know is the one he built to survive. Before any of it, there was a small town in Ontario, Canada. A father who lost his job as an accountant when Jim was 12. A family that went from lower middle class to nothing in a matter of months. A van, a tent, no fixed address, no certainty, no plan. His mother spent most of her days in bed. Pain pills, a sadness that never quite left her face. And there was Jim, 10 years old, standing beside her bed every single evening, doing voices, pulling faces, trying combinations until something finally made her laugh. 150 voices. He had counted. He never went to acting school. He did not need to. He had already been performing for the hardest audience of his life for years. He said it plainly once. My humor was born out of desperation. I had a sick mom, man. I wanted to make her feel better. At 16, he dropped out of school and went to work. Nights on a comedy club stage, getting booed. Days in a factory. He kept going back to that stage because there was no version of his life that did not include it. Now think about this for a moment. In 1985, Jim Carrey was broke, unknown, sleeping in uncertainty. And he sat down and wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered. He dated it 10 years into the future, folded it, and carried it in his wallet every single day. Not as a joke, as a decision. 9 years later, Dumb and Dumber paid him exactly that. The year after, the cable guy made him the first actor in Hollywood history to earn $20 million for one film. In 1994 alone, he had released 3 films that changed comedy forever. Ace Ventura, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber. Then came The Truman Show, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Man on the Moon. He was not just funny. He was willing to disappear completely into a role and trust that he could find his way back. But what happens when you cannot find your way back? In 1999, playing Andy Kaufman, he stayed in character for the entire production, on off-camera, on set, in his personal life, for months. He later said it was psychotic at times. It took him a full month after filming ended just to remember who he actually was. That kind of disappearing does not happen in a vacuum. It happens to someone who has been running from himself for a very long time. Jim Carrey had lived with depression since he was young. Not a rough patch, not seasonal sadness, the kind that waits for you every morning. He took medication for years. He described what it felt like on Prozac, a low level of despair you live in, where you are not getting any answers, but you are living okay, and you can smile at the office. Smiling at the office. That is what 200 million people were paying to see. Then, in September 2015, he lost Catriona White. She was an Irish woman, quiet and gentle, someone he had loved on and off for years. 4 days after they said goodbye, she was gone. A prescription overdose, ruled a suicide. Jim flew to County Tipperary, Ireland. He stood at her grave. He was one of the men who carried her coffin. He called her a truly kind and delicate Irish flower, too sensitive for this soil. Then her family sued him. The case lasted 3 years and was eventually dismissed. But there is no legal ruling that undoes the particular grief of burying someone you loved and then spending years defending yourself for it. He pulled away from Hollywood. He started painting. He sat with the quiet instead of running from it. And somewhere in that stillness, he arrived at something true. He said this, and it is one of the most honest things anyone has ever said about depression. Depression is your body saying, "I don't want to be this character anymore." Think of the word depressed as deep rest. Your body needs rest from the character you have been trying to play. Not a textbook definition, a man speaking from the inside of it. In 2022, he told the world he was stepping back, and he said something almost no one in his position ever says out loud. "I have enough. I have done enough. I am enough." Here is what that means for the rest of us. Enough is not a number. It is a decision. And most people never make it because they are still trying to outrun something from a long time ago. Jim Carrey spent 60 years outrunning a tent in Ontario, and then he stopped. I keep coming back to that boy beside his mother's bed, 10 years old, counting voices, not performing for fame or money or applause, performing because someone he loved was hurting, and he did not know what else to give her. Everything that came after was just a larger version of that same boy, trying to make strangers feel something in the dark. If this story stayed with you, there are more. More lives built from broken places, more people who found something worth keeping in the wreckage. Subscribe, and we will find them together.
Everybody remembers me from Superman. And I had a girlfriend tell me that.
Number 1. Odds are Valerie Perrine will always be one of the greats. But she never once asked to be. She didn't arrive in Hollywood with a plan. She arrived with a topless showgirl photo and the quiet confidence of someone who had nothing left to lose. Her fiancé had been killed by a ricocheting bullet. Her next lover was murdered at Sharon Tate's house, a house she was supposed to be in that night, but wasn't. By the time the cameras found her, Valerie Perrine had already survived more than most scripts could hold, so she didn't perform. She just showed up and let the rest happen. That was enough for Cannes, enough for BAFTA, enough for an Oscar nomination, all of it without a single acting lesson. Then came Parkinson's. Not sudden, not dramatic, just slow and absolute. Oh, it worked the way it always does, quietly dismantling what the body takes for granted. First, the steadiness, then the movement, then the voice, then the ability to eat. The mind stays present for all of it, watching, aware, unable to stop what's coming. She faced every stage of it without complaint. Not once. In a life that handed her chaos at every turn, and she turned most of it into something worth watching. That may be the most remarkable thing Valerie Perrine ever did.
This is James Tolkan, otherwise known as Mr. Strickland from Back to the Future. Don't be a slack.
Number 2. Odds are James Tolkan will always be one of the greats. But he spent 25 years making sure nobody knew his name, and then made sure nobody forgot his face. He came from Calumet, Michigan, served in the Navy during Korea, the kind of beginning that teaches a man the difference between authority and performance. that the most dangerous people in any room are the ones who don't need to raise their voice to be heard. That was his ace in the hole. In a business crowded with actors chasing the center of the frame, Tolkan did something quieter and considerably harder. He showed up. For 25 years, on New York stages, in rooms that didn't fill, learning what a single line weighs when you've earned the right to deliver it. Hollywood found him at 54. He put on a bow tie, looked a teenager dead in the eye, and said, "You're a slacker," and the line has outlived half the films made that decade. 2 years later, he walked onto a naval base, said, "God help us," laughed once, and left Tom Cruise looking smaller in the frame. You don't do that with talent alone. You do that with 25 years of understanding exactly where to stand and exactly when to be still. He was married for 54 years. He collected art. He loved animals. He died at 94, peacefully in the town he chose to live in. He was never the story. He was the reason the story felt real.
Taking Polaroids outside of her bedroom window late at night. That last part is a joke. It's really detention because here she comes.
Number 3. Odds are, Nicholas Brendon will always be one of the greats. But I'm not sure he ever believed that about himself. That may have been the whole point. For 7 seasons, he played the one who wasn't chosen. No powers, no destiny. Just a young man who showed up anyway, every single time, because the people he loved needed him there. In a show built around a chosen one, Xander Harris was the reminder that ordinary courage is still courage. Brendon didn't just play that. He understood it from the inside, off-screen. The spotlight he lived so close to never quite landed where it should have. The years after Buffy were uneven, the struggles public, the battles long. Addiction, health, the particular silence that settles over someone the industry has quietly moved on from. None of it was hidden. All of it was heavy. He was found at home, positioned as if asleep. A friend had been staying overnight to look after him. He was 54 years old. His family said he was optimistic about the future at the time of his passing. That detail refuses to leave quietly. Sarah Michelle Gellar quoted his own character back to him at the end. "Nobody's watching me," then added 3 words of her own. "I saw you, Nikki." So did we. We just never said it loud enough while it still mattered.
Most of my characters in all of my movies have been closely related because it's a lot of Chuck Norris in them.
Number 4. Odds are Chuck Norris will always be one of the greats. But the last thing he ever said to the world was posted 6 days before he died. Gloves on, working the bag, trading punches with a trainer in the Hawaiian sun at 86 years old. "I don't get older, I level up." That wasn't a persona. That was the man. He didn't find martial arts in a gym. He found it in Korea while serving in the Air Force, a young man from Oklahoma with no particular destiny, training in a discipline that would eventually reshape his entire life. He came home a 6-time undefeated world karate champion. He built his own fighting system from the ground up. Over 3,000 black belts worldwide now carry that system's name. Black Belt magazine awarded him the 10th Dan, the highest rank the sport can give. Hollywood found him the same way it finds everyone who doesn't need it, eventually. Bruce Lee called first. Then came Missing in Action, Delta Force, Walker, Texas Ranger, 8 seasons, a generation of television. The Expendables brought him back when most had stopped expecting it. His final film was still unfinished when he died. In December, he lost the woman he married at 17. 3 months later, Hawaii, gone before the day was out. For 20 years, the jokes wrote themselves, because the truth underneath them was simply too large for a straight line to hold.
Action and cut, I feel a great piece sometimes.
Number 5. Odds are Robert Duvall will always be one of the greats. But I keep coming back to the dog named Boo. He played Arthur Radley in 1962. A small role, a few minutes of screen time. The kind of part most actors mention once in an interview and forget. Duvall kept a dog with that name for the rest of his life, 60 years. That's not sentiment. That's a man who understood exactly where he came from and never saw a reason to pretend otherwise. In a town built on spectacle, he made stillness dangerous. Tom Hagen never raised his voice and owned every room he entered. Kilgore loved napalm the way other men describe a sunrise, with complete sincerity. A country singer in Tender Mercies did his own singing. 7 Oscar nominations across 6 decades, the last one at 84. He turned down The Godfather Part 3 because the offer was insulting. Al Pacino was being paid 5 times what Duvall was offered. He walked away and called it a matter of principle. He meant it. Once, he was a young man sharing an apartment in New York with Dustin Hoffman, spending his evenings with a friend named Gene Hackman. 3 unknowns in a city that didn't know their names yet. Hackman died last year. Duvall followed 3 months later. His family left no funeral instructions, only a suggestion: watch a great film, tell a story around a table, take a drive, and look at the world. He had been doing exactly that for 95 years.